With my white coat pressed and my clipboard in hand, I entered the cardiac ward and was greeted with the room's chilly white radiance. Beside Uncle Robert's bed, machines buzzed softly, prodding his meal as if it had personally insulted him. His lips curved as soon as he spotted me. He whispered to Aunt Linda, who was fiddling with a vase of fresh flowers. "Oh, fantastic." They sent her once more. Ignoring the remark, I approached while maintaining a cool, collected demeanor. "Mr. Hoffman, good morning. How do you feel right now?" He gave a snort. "How do you suppose I'm feeling?" Aunt Linda gave him a stern look. "I've been asking for 3 days to see a real cardiologist, not whatever you are. Please, Robert." "Linda, this is my heart," he yelled. I refused to allow a trainee to test me. After checking his vitals on the monitor, I carefully adjusted the leads. This morning, Dr. Peterson is undergoing surgery. I am in charge of his patient's rounds. "Rounds," he chuckled angrily. "So, before the real doctors arrive, you are the checklist person." Unfazed, I took notes on the chart. That's what you could say. Uncle Robert gave Aunt Linda a dramatic turn of his head. I stated precisely this around Christmas. After attending an offshore medical school and failing to secure a legitimate employment, my niece is currently practicing medicine in a cheap hospital. After a little interval, my hand continued to move. Embarrassed, Aunt Linda said, "Robert, that's sufficient." "What?" he exclaimed. "It's the reality. I don't mean to offend, but you're not a physician. They simply put you in a white coat to give patients a sense of security." I raised my stethoscope and paid close attention while counting and concentrating. "Since yesterday, your EKG clearly shows progress. The catheterization was successful, and the stent is operating as it should." Once more, he scoffed. "You see?" She uses fancy terms as if she truly understands their meaning. I carefully closed the chart. It dawned on me then that he had no idea who was actually there next to his bed. Uncle Robert snapped. I specifically asked for Dr. Peterson, or Dr. Williams, a person who is truly qualified to interpret cardiac tests. I said calmly, "Dr. Williams is in the cath lab this morning." "He is, of course," Robert sneered. "They dumped the student on me while I'm practicing real medicine." He looked at Aunt Linda. "I wanted Mount C in Manhattan for precisely this reason. Actual medical professionals, true expertise." My pager began to vibrate. I looked down. "ICU emergency cardiac consultation. Dr. Thompson is urgently requesting the chief of cardiology." I raised my gaze. "Mr. Hoffman, I must leave for a moment," I said. "During official rounds later this afternoon, Dr. Peterson will see you." At last he whispered, "Perhaps then I'll receive some real medical care." Without answering, I left. The mood changed down the corridor. The nurses worked more quickly. Voices fell silent. Dr. Thompson stood outside ICU room 314, a worried expression on his face as he held a lengthy chart. "Thank God you're here, Dr. Hassan," he said, a 67-year-old man with complex arrhythmias, following a "Me, I need your call." "But EP wants to move forward with the ablation." I quickly scanned the file. Ejection fraction? 25%. Severe heart failure? Non-sustained but rising ventricular tachycardia. I shook my head after looking over the EKG strips and echo data. He is not a candidate for ablation. It is too much for his heart to handle. First, we stabilize and maximize medical treatment. Add an ACE inhibitor, increase the beta blocker, and reevaluate. We think about ICD placement after things are steady. Dr. Thompson let out a sigh of relief. That's what I believed. Before I overruled EP, I simply required your affirmation. "Excellent decision," I remarked. "Telemetry tracking. Electrolytes every 12 hours. He gave a brief nod. "I'll put it in writing." My phone rang as I returned the chart. "Caller ID, Dr. Peterson Cardiology, Sarah," he hurriedly said. "I have 2 more hours to stay in the OA. Are you able to cover rounds in the afternoon? Obviously, I understand that you have the research conference at 3, but Mrs. Chin in 48 needs to be evaluated because she has chest pain. After I finish the morning patients, I'll see her." "Excellent." "Oh, and Hoffman in 312, labs returned. Despite medicines, cholesterol is remained elevated. Perhaps it's time for a lifestyle discussion." "Already scheduled," he gave a quiet laugh. "You save lives. Without you, I'm not sure how this department would function." After hanging up, I turned back to the cardiac unit. Uncle Robert complained to Aunt Linda about the coffee in a loud, agitated voice that echoed down the hall. I entered the space. He declared, "Well, look who's back. The student physician comes back. Tell me, did you at last seek advice from an expert?" Gently, I shut the door behind me. And that day, for the first time, I grinned. Uncle Robert smirked and said, "Did you find any real doctors while you were away, or are you still just winging it?" I carefully pulled a chair up next to his bed. "We need to review your test results, Mr. Hoffman." His expression brightened. "Well, what was the actual doctor's assessment of my condition?" I looked at his chart. "The installation of your stent was successful. You still have dangerously high cholesterol, though. We must discuss immediate lifestyle adjustments." He dismissively waved a hand. "When Dr. Peterson arrives, I will talk to him about that. I refuse to follow a resident's medical advice." "Your LDL is at 180, I stated calmly. "Under 100 is considered normal. You have a very high risk of experiencing another incident given your recent heart attack and family history." He sneered. "You're learning. I understand that. However, I'll wait for expert counsel." Anxiously, Aunt Linda leaned forward. "Maybe you should listen to her, Robert." "Linda, she's not qualified," he yelled. "It's likely that she is reading that directly from a book." My phone began to vibrate. "The hospital board meeting has been rescheduled for 2 p.m. The chief of cardiology must approve the budget and assess the equipment." I glanced back at him after locking the screen. "As I was saying, your current medications aren't enough," I said coolly. "We must add a supplementary medication and raise your statin dosage." He gave a hard shake of his head. "On the advice of someone who has never treated a real cardiac patient, I'm not changing my medications." The door was knocked on. The chief medical officer of the hospital, Dr. Martinez, entered and immediately took control of the space. "Pardon me," he said courteously to Uncle Robert. Uncle Robert instantly straightened and said, "I need a word with your physician." At last, "I've been attempting to receive appropriate care for days." "Dr. Martinez." Dr. Martinez hesitated. "They keep sending this resident instead of my cardiologist." "I apologize, sir. Who do you think your cardiologist is?" "Dr. Peterson," Robert blurted out. "However, he is never present. They simply send her." He made a motion in my direction. Dr. Martinez glanced at Uncle Robert, then back to me. "Dr. Sarah Hausen is your cardiologist," he stated cautiously. Uncle Robert chuckled. "No, she's a resident. I requested a cardiologist with board certification." The tone of Dr. Martinez remained unchanged. "Dr. Hausen is Presbyterian General's chief of cardiology." Uncle Robert's smile disappeared. "That can't be correct." Dr. Martinez went on. "She finished her fellowship at Cleveland Clinic and her residency at Mayo Clinic. She holds board certifications in both interventional cardiology and cardiology. She oversees our Heart Research Institute as well." Uncle Robert froze as he gazed at me. "However, she appears so youthful," Dr. Martinez answered. "She's 34. She has also been practicing for 8 years. She is well known throughout the world for her work and has published more than 40 peer-reviewed studies." Aunt Linda's hand shot to her mouth as she gasped. "Oh my God." "We didn't know, Sarah," Dr. Martinez said with a single nod. "Mr. Hoffman, Dr. Hausen did your cardiac catheterization yesterday," he muttered. "The stent that saved your life was implanted by her." The room fell silent. Uncle Robert's jaw dropped. Closed after that, he was at a loss for words for the first time since I had entered. The only sound in the room was Uncle Robert's heart monitor beeping steadily. Dr. Martinez remarked softly, "I came to find Dr. Hausen." The board meeting was rescheduled. Funding for the new cardiac imaging equipment she requested has been approved. Uncle Robert said, "Board meeting." "Yes," Dr. Martinez went on. "Dr. Hausen is a member of the executive board of the hospital. She is in charge of 12 cardiologists and handles an annual budget of $50 million. I got up from my seat and looked at his chart. "Cholesterol control is crucial, as I explained earlier, Mr. Hoffman," I responded coolly. "In addition to your statin, I'm administering a PCSK9 inhibitor. Your lab results will be rechecked after 6 weeks." "Sarah, he began. I had already started writing. "Starting next week, I'm also signing you up for cardiac rehab." Dr. Martinez nodded. "Nutrition counseling, stress management, and supervised exercise." The recovery program was created by Dr. Housen. Its success rate is among the greatest in the state. And you'll meet with our nutritionist prior to discharge, I said. Your risk is being greatly increased by your existing diet. Uncle Robert appeared utterly taken aback. I'm at a loss for words. I said, you don't have to say anything. Dr. Martinez looked at his watch and said, just follow the plan. The board is waiting. Dr. Housen, I'll arrive in 5 minutes. I looked back at Uncle Robert. Do you have any questions regarding your prescription drugs or instructions for discharge? Slowly, he shook his head. Well, tomorrow, I'll see you on rounds. Press the call button right away if you experience any unexpected symptoms, such as shortness of breath or chest pain. His words halted me as I made my way to the door. Sarah. Hold on, I said. I should apologize to you. A large one. You were judged by me. I was impolite. I didn't know who you were or what you had done. I gently remarked, you don't have to apologize for wanting quality care. That is typical. Your recuperation is what's important right now. Aunt Linda got up and gave me a strong hug. She whispered, we're so proud of you. It's unbelievable that we were unaware. It's all right, I said with a smile. At family dinners, I don't usually discuss work. But why not? She questioned, half giggling in shock. You are the head of cardiology, because impressing people isn't my job. I replied. Dr. Martinez cleared his throat and said, it's about taking care of patients like Uncle Robert. The board is waiting. Doctor, I turned again. Take a nap today. Tomorrow at 9, physical therapy will begin. Don't pass it up. Dr. Martinez shook his head as we made our way to the elevator. Dynamics within a family can be complex. That they are able to do? Your uncle is fortunate. For what it's worth, he continued. Yesterday's stent implantation was flawless. I'm grateful. The elevator doors shut. The board enlarged the study program, approved new imaging equipment, and assessed patient outcomes 2 hours later. I returned to Uncle Robert's chamber 15 minutes prior to my next consultation. He appeared more powerful, more lucid. Thank you, Sarah, he murmured softly, for keeping me alive. Additionally, for showing me respect when I didn't deserve it. I do that. No, he firmly said. It goes beyond that. I was shown articles about you by Linda, your investigation, your honors. I didn't know. His vital signs were stable when I checked them. I want everyone to know what you do at the next family get-together, he added. That's not required. Yes, he said. While you sat in silence and developed into one of the nation's top cardiologists, I talked about my insurance business for years. I grinned and said, the work speaks for itself. I was obviously not paying attention. I gave his hand a light squeeze. Pay attention to healing. That is all that is important. Did you know Sarah runs her own research lab? He whispered to Aunt Linda as I was leaving the room. She has authored textbooks. Our niece is quite significant. I grinned to myself. For the student doctor who kept him alive, it was just another day.